What's up, guys? I'm going to unbox and review this NETGEAR MS308E Ethernet switch, essentially. This is an Ethernet Plus switch. You can think of it as like a basic managed switch. So they call these Plus switches. So it has 8 Ethernet ports. They can all support up to 2.5 gigabit Ethernet speeds. You can also wall mount it right there on this side and that other side. I'm hiding the info right there. And then you have the power port right here in the back. So let's see what else it comes with. It is a metal case, if you guys are wondering. It comes with a power supply, which is 100 to 240 volts. Output is 18 watts of power. So that's what the plug itself looks like. And then we have the wall mount stuff, essentially. So you could either wall mount it, or you could put these little legs on. And then we got the paperwork. It says to access the installation guide, you could visit this site. And then we got the installation guide over here as well. So I powered on the NETGEAR switch. I have both my laptops because we're going to set up a VLAN and we're going to do a VLAN demo. VLAN standing for Virtual Local Area Network, which basically isolates certain ports on the NETGEAR switch based on your choosing, essentially. Okay, so currently this computer is hooked up to port 1 and this computer is hooked up to port 2, and then port 8 is actually hooked up to my other NETGEAR managed switch. And when we set up the VLAN, we'll set up port 8 as the trunk port or the tag port. Okay, so one thing worth mentioning is that this NETGEAR switch doesn't have to hook up to another NETGEAR device. It could hook up to a non-NETGEAR switch or a non-NETGEAR router and it'll work just fine. So something to keep in mind. Okay, so we'll start off with the interface on the left, and then we'll go, and then when we get to the VLAN page, we'll set that up, and yeah, we'll go from there. All right, so now that I've zoomed in, okay, so if you hook up this switch without hooking it up to a network, it has an IP address on the bottom label, and if you type in that IP address with the computer that's hooked up to it, it will take you to this interface. Now, when you first get here, it asks you for a password. The default password happens to be password, but it's actually on the sticker on the NETGEAR switch in case yours happens to be different. Then when you type in the default password, it asks you to change your password. Once you do that, this is the main login page. This is what you see. So 3 ports connected, some info if you want to turn on the LEDs on or off, link aggregation, and the connected ports right here. So the goldish orangish color is a gigabit speed, and the green color is a 2.5 gigabit speed. And port 8 also happens to be a 2.5 gigabit speed. Now port 8 is actually coming from a faster switch, coming from a 10 gig port. But because this switch, the max speeds are 2.5 gig, that's how it comes in as. So yes, you can hook up a 2.5 gig switch to another switch that happens to be a different speed. Okay, so main page, now let's get to the meat of it. So we'll start off with QoS, quality of service, which allows you, if you want to, you can actually limit certain ports. You can limit the speeds of certain ports if you want to. So we start with no limit, and then we start with 512 kilobits per second all the way up to 1024 megabits per second, which happens to be a gigabit per second. So you could do this with any of the ports. I'm not going to limit the speeds, but this is an option you can do. Now VLAN, this is the main thing. Currently there's no VLAN set up, which means this is being used just like an unmanaged switch, essentially expanding your Ethernet port. So if you happen to have a router and you want to expand some ports, you could get an unmanaged switch, or you could get a switch like this, or you could get a full-on smart managed switch and you can expand your ports. So unless I configure it, that's how it's operating. Now, you have several options. You got basic port base, you got advanced port base, you got basic VLAN, and then you got advanced VLAN. Now, I like the basic VLAN. It's very simple to use. So I'm going to click on activate mode, and it warns me. It's like, hey, if you're changing it, you're going to erase all your current VLAN settings. So I say okay. So, and then there's also a save option. I'll show you guys that as well. Currently, 8 of the ports are hooked up to access, and access is kind of like an untagged port, and then the trunk is like the tagged port. So because port 8 happens to be hooked up to my other switch, I'm going to set that up as trunk. Now, for this demo, port 1 is this computer, port 2 is the other computer, so I'm going to click Add VLAN, and then I'm going to, VLAN name, I'm just going to call it VLAN 10. This is not the best name. If a better name would be like if VLAN 10 was hooked up for security cameras or network attached storages or something like that, that's what I would put as the name. But because this is just a demo, I'm just going to call it VLAN 10. You could pick the name that you think is best. So ID is going to be set to 10. I could pick ID from 1 all the way to 4093. However, some are reserved. So 10 is a pretty good number, so that's what I'm going to do. That's usually for my demos, I usually do 10. Okay, so once you do that, now you'll see 10 as an option. So I'm going to click on 10 here, and then I'm going to click on 10 here. And here's the cool thing, okay? So if I were to click save right now, this page wouldn't load for me because because this is hooked up to port 1, I would be isolating myself. So what I'm going to do is instead of doing port 1 and 2, I'll do port 2 and 3. Okay, so I'll make ports 2 and 3 the same VLAN, and I'll make port 1 this regular one, because 1 is the default, which means I have access to the network and everything. So I'm going to click save, and now this will actually load. Had I done that with port 1, it would have looked like it was frozen, but it's just because this computer wouldn't have access to it. So after setting up the VLAN, port 1 will no longer be able to see port 2. So what I got to do is I got to unplug this Ethernet cable from port 1 and plug it into port 3, because we set it up in a way where port 2 and 3 are on the same VLAN. Okay, so now that I did this, I have to go to, and I also got to make sure, if you have a firewall, I'm not suggesting you disable it, but in my particular case, unless I disable my smart firewall, it actually blocks the transmission, so I actually can't talk to the other computer. So I personally had to disable my firewall for this demo. I'm not telling you to disable yours, but I'm just giving you a heads up. So, because that has bit me more than once, unfortunately. Okay, so I'm going to right click on this, and I'm going to open up the TCP/IP version 4. I'm going to type in an IP address of 192.168.10.10 with the default subnet mask of 255.255.255.0, and the default gateway is blank. So once I do this, I click OK. I click OK. Okay, so now I'm going to open up command prompt, which happens to be PowerShell now, and I'm going to do ping 192.11 because the computer to the right happens to be 11, and so now I'm getting a response. So, and I will continue to get a response as long as we're on the same VLAN. So if there was another VLAN, if it was ports 2, 3, and 6, if I plugged it into 6, it would also work. Now, if I unplug this, and obviously I'm going to get a failure, and then if I plug it into a different port, let's say port 4, let's go back to port 1 actually. So if I go to port 1, it's just going to say I can't reach it. So I'm going to get a different failure, but it's going to say destination host unreachable, and it's going to be unreachable until only currently, because the VLAN set up for ports 2 and 3, only 2 and 3 will work. So if I unplug this, again, if I plug it into any other port, like go to port 4, it's going to give me the same problem, the same issue, until I go to port 3. And when I go to port 3, then it should come back and it should start saying I should get a reply, as you guys could see. And the same is true on the other side. So if I were to ping the other computer, I'm getting a response back. And again, if I were to unplug that Ethernet cable, the other guy wouldn't see me as well. So we would be getting the same issue, similar issue on the right side essentially, until I plugged it in. And that is the beauty of VLAN. So if you want to separate out networks, if you want to have security cameras on a certain VLAN, you can do that. If you want to separate out other things, other computers, you can do that. That's the beauty of VLANs. Okay, so now I'm going to go back to any of the other ports. Let's say port 4. I'm going to stop this from running. I'm going to stop that from running. And then I'm going to change my IP address to the auto. So I have access to the interface again. Okay, so I'm going to refresh this page. And this is the screen that you would see, but now that I have my own password. Okay, so we go back to the screen, we go to switching, and then we have multicast. So some options here, and then link aggregation if you guys are interested in that. It basically combines multiple Ethernet links into a single logical link. If you have certain Synology drives or other NASs, it doesn't have to be a NAS, a network attached storage. It could be something else. But some of them, like some of the Synology drives, have link aggregation. They support that. So they have 2 individual gigabit ports where you can actually aggregate those together. So you can actually set it up this way and then it'll work as one logical port. Okay, diagnostics, cable test. You could pick the ports and then click next, and then it'll tell you like no cable on port 1. Port 2 is okay. If I were to pick port 4, it would say okay for that. Loop prevention, port mirroring, and port statistics. And so for settings, this is what I was talking about. So access, if you want to have access control to the switch, and DOS prevention, change password, switch discovery. So if you want to use the network switch discovery protocol so they can find it, you can have that. It's enabled by default. And this is what it was, the configuration file. So you can actually back up your settings, and then if you want to play with it, and then restore it if you want to come back to it. You could reboot the switch, you could update the firmware and stuff. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Power saving mode as well. So in a nutshell, this is a very simple to use switch that's not overwhelming, that gives you a decent number of options. So it's a very clean interface. Again, it's not overwhelming. All the basic stuff is here. You could set up QoS, you could limit speeds. You can do VLANs are super simple. A lot of helpful notes over here, like if the port connects to an end device, such as PC or gaming device, then set up the port as an access point. If the port connects to a VLAN device, such as a switch, then set it up as a trunk port. So literally, there's a lot of notes even within the interface. Super simple to use, very clean. Overall, really great switch. So if you're looking for something that has these options, link aggregation, VLAN, multicast, QoS, things of that nature, you could save your settings. I mean, this thing is a fantastic choice. If you guys enjoyed this video, smash that subscribe button, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.